Last night I saw the film The Tree of Life, which in a way I feel like is a film to not talk about, because in advance of seeing the film I didn't know hardly anything about it. I saw a trailer for it which told me hardly anything about the film. I didn't listen to any reviews about it or anything like that, and I feel like that is probably the way to watch it without knowing anything, because I'm not sure. Well, I think that most of the film you have to make up in your own mind and decide what you think is going on. So it's quite hard to describe or explain to each other without, I guess, spoiling it in a way. The film starts off with the mother and her sons playing happily, but she has some really bad news, that she has lost one of her sons. Then I think the film is shot from like the point of view of inside her mind for a while, like questions about God and death and universe. So she'd be thinking about all those things, and because she has such sorrow and grief over losing her son, there's quite a lot of silent moments for the film, because I think that you are at the point of view of inside her mind, therefore you're given the silence and sorrow and pictures of the universe and things, whispering about God and things like that, because you are from her point of view. In a way it's a bit uneasy because you can't escape the silence or things like that. It's not a film that's just given to you straight up, everything handed to you. It's just, you have to figure things out yourself, basically, and the silence can be hard to sit through, I think, for the amount of time it is, especially, it's a 2.5 hour film almost, so I can imagine that some people would find it a film that's really hard to manage to sit through. I think, but in reality, grief and sorrow and things like that are hard, and thinking about the questions in life. If you happen to really want to, want to think about the universe and religion and things, it's quite a good film to consider those things during, I think. So I think that for quite a while it's from the point of view of that, and then it goes back to, well, it does also, I think, give a nod to science as a possibility, because they seem a bit confused about whether or not they are committed to religion, and there is some images of dinosaurs at some point. Then I think the film is taken back a step to the beginning of the boy's childhood to tell you, like, how they got to the stage where one of her children died. What about his childhood? What type of childhood he had that could have led to such a thing to happen. But it doesn't actually mention how he died. I think once again you've got to decide that for yourself. Which is quite a thing. It's a very clever, thoughtful film, I think, and quite beautiful. In a way, I think that watching it, I almost was just willing it to be good. Well, not just, obviously, it was good as well, but during the uneasiness of the silence of things, you're thinking, or I was thinking, but it is good. Yeah, so then there's some shots also after that for short periods of time over one of the other sons, I think the second son, but older, who feels in my opinion. Like, he has had the pressures that were put on the first son put onto him instead, so he grows up having taken those pressures and quite resentful that, well, he seems to blame his father for the death of his older brother, which then he's trying to sort out in his own mind. Yes, it's quite a hard film to get to grips with and things like that, but on the other hand it's good and beautiful and thoughtful, and it allows you to think about things that in normal life, day to day, you might not really get time to really consider and stop to think about, shown in a different way to what's usual. And I think it's good to be different. Not all films have to just tell you things straight up and lay things out for you. Yeah, so I thought that was good.